How much does Putin love his country? He has dedicated many decades of his youth to Russia. For the people, he didn't care about the happiness of his small family. At the age of 72, Putin is still fully devoted to the country. When national interests are violated and territorial security is threatened, Putin is ready to take action to punish the adversary. He warns anyone who tries to cross Russia's red lines. It is this determined leadership style that has made him famous everywhere. However, even a steel leader like Putin has moments of weakness. He has cried in public 3 times. So, who were these tears for? What story and emotions are hidden behind them? In the winter of 2011, Russia erupted in widespread protests. From Moscow to Siberia, the people's anger warmed up the cold atmosphere. 30,000 voices formed a strong wave of opposition, criticizing corruption, bureaucracy, and declining living standards. At that time, Prime Minister Putin frowned in his office, staring at the survey report. The report showed his approval rating had dropped from 68% at the beginning of the year to 51% and continued to fall. The main reason was the global financial crisis of 2008, which caused Russia's economy to stagnate. People's living standards worsened seriously, and rampant corruption increased tensions. People were living in misery while officials fought for power greedily. The public angrily asked, "Isn't this the responsibility of the leaders? Why then did they decide to take to the streets and protest to protect their rights?" Putin had to take measures to deal with the rising wave of protests. His actions quickly reversed the situation, raising Russia's economy to a new height and effectively limiting internal corruption. Putin also announced that he would run for president again, giving hope to the Russian people. His approval rating started to rise again. On the evening of March 4th, 2012, at 11 p.m., 110,000 people gathered in Manus Square in central Moscow, watching the stage. Russian president at the time, Medvedev, and Prime Minister Putin stood side by side, becoming the center of attention. As the vote counting neared completion, Putin's vote share was stable at around 63%. Although the vote counting had not finished, Putin's re-election as president of Russia was already certain amid the cheers of thousands of Putin supporters. He took the microphone and spoke. "Thank you to all those who shouted, 'Great Russia.' I once asked everyone, 'Can we win?' When he said this, Putin's voice choked. Tears could not be held back as they rolled down his cheeks. Hundreds of thousands of people witnessed this moment of weakness from the president. The tough Putin loudly declared, 'Yes, today we have won.' At that moment, the sky over Manus Square exploded with loud cheers. The audience shouted the name of their leader in excitement. The departure of his wife didn't make Putin shed tears, but he has cried many times for the Russian people. What are these tears truly for? On the cold night of December 19th, 2016, Russian diplomat Andrei Karlov was giving a speech in the capital of Turkey, Ankara. However, on this peaceful night, a sudden tragedy occurred. As Andrei Karlov was speaking at the hall, a security officer quietly approached and suddenly drew something from his belt, and there were consecutive gunshots shattering the silence of the night. Andrei Karlov was shot and fell. The once quiet hall immediately was thrown into chaos, with people screaming. The people present ran in fear. However, this security officer did not continue the attack, but shouted loudly, "Don't forget Aleppo. Don't forget Syria. Until our home is not safe, you shouldn't think of your own safety." The Turkish police quickly acted and eliminated the assassin on the spot. In the end, diplomat Andrei Karlov died from his severe injuries. When this news reached Russia, President Putin's heart seemed to be hit with a heavy blow. The flow of national pride and honor was severely challenged in this event. He angrily declared, "We must find the true mastermind and seek justice for Karlov's fate." On December 21st, 2016, the body of Andrei Karlov was brought back to Moscow in a solemn farewell ceremony. The president, Putin, personally came to honor the national hero. He knew Karlov's loyalty and talent, but at this moment, he could only face the cold coffin. During the farewell, President Putin twice gently leaned his head on Karlov's coffin, as if saying a final goodbye to his old friend. When he looked up, the tears under the flashlights became strikingly noticeable. This tough leader also revealed his softer side. Putin's tears were not only for Karlov, but also for the steadfast protection of Russia's national honor. He knew that only by facing challenges more resolutely could the interests and honor of the country be defended. On November 10th, 2013, Russia celebrated its annual Police Day. President Putin attended a special concert at the Grand Kremlin Theater to honor those who sacrificed while enforcing the law. A moving song called "I Want to Live" was sung at the concert. Its melody and lyrics deeply touched everyone's heart, even making President Putin shed tears. Emotional, this song was written and composed by Gennady Seleznev, dedicated to the pilots who sacrificed their lives on the battlefield in Syria. While the singer was performing passionately on stage, the screen displayed photos of the heroes 15800:04:34, 900:00:04:35, 800 who were about to leave their families, including young people who had just married and middle-aged people who had been through many ups and downs. They were once full of life. With lovers and parents in the final moments of their lives, they bravely faced death. Even though they longed to survive, they chose to sacrifice for the good of the country And the people, when the song ended, the screen displayed more than 200 photos of the heroes gathered together. Putin and all the audience stood up applauding enthusiastically for the singer and the heroes amidst the applause. Putin wiped the tears from the corner of his eye. This moment was captured by journalists. The tears not only showed Putin's strength and tenderness, but also revealed his rich emotions and deep love like an ordinary person. When seeing Putin cry, we should not mock his weakness. It is a manifestation of the love he has for the Russian people. During his first presidential oath in 2000, Putin promised the Russian people, "Give me 20 years. I will bring you a strong Russia." Throughout the past 20 years, Putin has relentlessly pursued this goal. However, even he could hardly drive this giant national machine by himself under Western isolation. He led Russia to maintain its honor in the world. In the East, under his leadership, Russia has challenged the entire NATO, but never failed. Beneath his cold exterior is a gentle and passionate heart.